It's June 24th, day 41. I'm back on trail. It's a little before noon, so late start. Hitching took a little bit, but I got picked up by this great guy, Alex. Between the conversations I had with him and Becca last night, and her boyfriend and her friend, it sort of made me realize that the really special thing about being out here doing what I'm doing is the mental aspect of it, and almost like the spiritual side of being by yourself, sort of, for so long, walking through nature. So I picked up Walden, the audiobook. That's what I ended up getting, by Henry David Thoreau. I feel like I'll probably never be at a better spot in my life where I can relate to what he's writing about, because that's the book where he spends 2 years or so living by himself on a pond and writes about his experience and the thoughts that he has. At least that's my understanding of it now. Haven't listened to it. So I'm going to listen to that, and between all the conversations that have been had in the past 24 hours, I think I've really been primed to start appreciating this experience in a whole nother way. So I don't know if I've expanded on this much, but the app that I use for, well, everything out here, Gut Hooks, I've mentioned it, I'm sure. But yeah, it's got waypoints for everything: tent sites, water, road crossings, town information, all that. And usually I'm checking it pretty constantly, like, I don't know, maybe once an hour, maybe less. To see how fast I'm going, see how far I've gone, see what's coming up. And today I just haven't been checking it. I've been looking at the water sources to make sure there's no big dry stretches coming up. But aside from that, I don't know how far I've gone since I've left town. I've got no specific goals for how far to go, because I don't know where the listed tent sites are or anything. I'm just kind of walking, and it's a nice change of pace. I've been finding that if I pick a tent site that I want to go to in the morning, I'm gonna get there, but it's gonna consume my thoughts throughout the day. Like, am I going fast enough to make it there on time? How much time am I gonna have once I'm there? Maybe I should speed up a little bit to give myself some extra time at camp, or if the tent site stinks or whatever, give myself time to look for a better one. And before, I also thought that way on the AT too. That's sort of how I planned out my days. And yeah, going into this hike, I wanted to just get used to walking all day and just go until it starts to get dark, and then once it starts to get dark, then worry about finding somewhere to stay. And in practice, I haven't really been doing that. I've gotten to the point where physically, yeah, I can walk all day, but I guess I'm still not comfortable with the thought or the practice of having to find a spot to camp when it's starting to get dark, you know? But we're in pine forest now. It's not like we're in the high Sierra and I'm going to end up somewhere above tree line and there's nowhere to camp for 10 miles, you know? So now seems like the time to try it. I said this early on and it's only gotten more true, but it is very rare for me to get an unobstructed view of the sunset. So I'm going to sit right here. The trail's about to go into the woods and this looks like it's going to be really nice. Really glad I stayed out for that. I found a pretty good spot right after getting into the trees. It's kind of rocky in this area, but this spot has no rocks and there's pine needles and it's like directly under some nice pine branches. Pretty ideal. So I'm going to set up camp here.